Now, let's talk a little bit about school, and a good place to start again is the parent comments. Let's take a look. And again, doctor, if we could, we have, these are comments that came from your patients.
Correct.
Regarding issues with parenting and...
Sure. I think one of the major things we see in pediatric practice is the struggle that children have with school. I think school's a lot more complicated than it was
Very good.
back when we were kids.
Okay, let's take a look.
My child is not happy at school. Is there a medical reason for that?
My child is not motivated to do their homework. Is there any way you can help us get them motivated?
My daughter's grades are not very good. I think it's because she's not able to stay focused. Is there anything that I can do to help that?
Okay, now we get into the world of children and going to school. And of course, there's a lot of very diverging opinions on this. Some people have pulled their kids out of school and have gone to a charter school or going with homeschooling. But now we're going to talk about generally going to school. First question is, you have a child that just refuses to do their homework. What can you do to motivate a young child to do their homework?
You know, school, the best way to think about school is that's the child's work. We like to think we go to work and our children go to school, but they're going to work also. And their work's getting very difficult. And I think one of the reasons why children resist doing homework is because of the enormous pressure that's placed on them. I think a lot of us in our parents' generation and our generation remember school as a time when there was no homework until about high school. So now in kindergarten already we're seeing homework starting. As a result, kids are feeling a tremendous pressure to perform. And a lot of kids are saying they're not so interested in that and they're bowing out. And that's what parents are facing as a big challenge.
What are some of the solutions?
Well, I think the most important thing parents can do is gain a clear understanding of exactly why their children are resisting the work. Is it that they're bored by it? Is it too easy? Is it too difficult? Very important, it's critical for parents to know whether a child's cognitive function is blocking them from succeeding. Does their brain have a problem reading, for instance? If your child has dyslexia, they're not going to like doing homework very much because it's hard to read the homework. So if there's something like that, cognitive dysfunction, and the parents don't help find out what that is, then their child could be frustrated for many years.
Are you saying that if a child is exhibiting some trouble in school, that they need to see someone with special training in the issue to see if there is some kind of a learning disability or some kind of an issue that's medically related?
Well, I think after the first pass, when parents sit down, talk to the teachers, look at their child, get a sense whether there's an emotional issue, they're anxious, they're worried, they're bored. If it's one of those issues, they can deal with those first. But if all those concerns have been taken care of and it's clear the child's simply stuck because they can't get some work done, then it's time for someone who really knows how to figure out how their brain is working to get into the picture.
Let's talk about the focus issue. A lot of parents say that their kids just cannot stay focused when they're sitting down to work on homework. Maybe they jump up to watch a TV show, they get something to eat, they want to run around outside, or they just want to maybe sit there and play with their shoelaces or something, or flip their pen. These are all they just can't seem to stay focused. What's that one all about?
That's a huge issue. I think it's the #1 issue that teachers come to parents with, their concerns. And I think attention, it's very helpful for parents to know, attention problems can be caused by more than just ADD. So you could have a child who's got, again, an anxiety problem that looks inattentive. You could have a child who's got a learning problem that looks inattentive. There's a host of reasons why someone might not look focused. If you don't pin down exactly why they're having trouble focusing, you could go off in the wrong direction for many years.
This doesn't sound like it's an easy thing for a parent to really get a good grasp on. Problems in school. I mean, it could be medical, it could be a lot of different things. I can picture that a parent could feel unclear about what's going on, but have very, very strong feelings that their child isn't doing their homework. But again, if you're seeing trouble, what's the good first step in your opinion?
I think the most important thing for a parent to have is a professional they trust, someone they believe really understands these issues and who they can turn to and sort out some of these difficulties with.
One of the things, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of interesting is that Einstein dropped out of high school. Now, there's an example of an individual who thought at one of the highest levels, in his field at least, which would be physics and that sort of thing. I'm not sure what Einstein would say about school, but he might say that therapy wouldn't have done him too much good. Are there individuals, young people in society, who have extremely wonderful, grouping of talents, great personality, but just school, for whatever reason, is not a good fit for them? I mean, do you ever see that scenario?
Oh, sure, quite a bit. I think most children have exceptional abilities, and there's a small number of children whose exceptional abilities really place the way their mind works into a different level, where their mind likes to play more than drill. Now, I think everyone likes to play more than drill, but if you look at a Vladimir Horowitz, who's a virtuoso on the piano, he's going to be a little bored during the usual piano lesson. He's going to need someone who's willing to really run with him at the level that he can run. And I think that was Einstein's issue, too. We definitely see kids in that situation.
Now, is there a problem with homeschooling in terms of socialization skills?
I don't think so. I mentioned homeschooling and charter schools as alternatives to regular schooling, but I think in each instance, homeschool, charter school, we come back to the fact that the children are going to work. So all the issues we've been talking about are present in all those settings. If you homeschool, you're still living in a community, and you're going to be heavily exposed to family and friends and other kids. So I think people come out socialized pretty well.
But as much as hazing is a problem, and it is, as is rudeness and being pushed in school, and teachers telling you what to do, but you don't want to do it, they're all difficult for a spirit to accept. And yet you come out of that experience able to handle pressures from your peers, able to handle authority figures in schools. It would seem to me that may be one area where a child could come out of a homeschool environment lacking some of the skills to deal with the real problems of this world as they're going to face them in the workplace. Truth to that or not?
Well, I don't think so, because you're not alone in the homeschool. You're plugged into the rest of the community. So you can't avoid being teased, even if you're going to homeschool.
I do want to point out that I'm an expert on the topic because I've been speaking for 7 minutes on it. How many years have you been doing what you're doing?
Well, I've been in practice for about 23 years.
23 years, and you went to Harvard.
Correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave it up to you to decide who's more qualified on this particular point. Me with my grumping about the school homeschool or the good doctor. Okay, next question. Is America a little bit too fixated on children right now? We only have 15 seconds. Go ahead.
I don't think you could give children enough love or attention. So I think America still has plenty to offer their children.
Wow, very good. And I would like to thank our guests for being on the show today, Dr. Lavin and Marti DeSantis and Susan Glaser. Fantastic, very, very helpful. Thanks for joining us on Medical Matters. See you again soon. For more Medical Matters television shows, go online to medicalmatters.tv.